The Courier stars Benedict Cumberbatch as Greville Wynne, a British businessman who is contacted by the Secret Intelligence Service to serve as a spy and contact for their Russian source Oleg Penkovsky in hopes to end the Cuban Missile Crisis. Directed by Dominic Cooke, this is based on a true story, but I walked into it totally blind, as I knew literally nothing about the real Greville Wynne going into this. And while this chronicles events that actually happened, it does play heavily as a genre film, that being the spy thriller. And that's a genre that I certainly don't dislike by any means, but it's one that I find can be easily hit and miss, as you have to be mentally prepared to get hit with a lot of exposition and name dropping, even with the films that are the most straightforward. Which can be the case here, as you might not be able to keep track of every event and every name dropped. But even if not every little detail resonates, I found this to be a lot more accessible than other spy thrillers, as it goes for some broader entertainment at times. While it is a true story that had some real high-stakes consequences, a conscious effort is made to keep the audience thoroughly engaged throughout this. With it taking place in the 60s, it'll especially feel a bit like a throwback to actual spy thrillers made during that time, like any of the Sean Connery James Bond films or The Manchurian Candidate, especially thanks to its slick production style and Cooke's direction. Another big plus is really highlighting how relatable Greville Wynne is. Unlike a lot of protagonists in these sort of thrillers, he's not someone with deep ties to the government or any top secret agency, only being recruited because an agent he unknowingly met in passing remembered him and got into contact with him. He's also not transformed into this top-performing spy at any point, as the film highlights how he gets nervous through most of his escapades, and he's actually kept in the dark at his own request as to the nature of parts of his mission, as to have some sort of plausible deniability. So while he has an arc, as he does get more invested in this mission as the film goes on, he's never fully transformed into this super spy or anything, and he still feels like just your average guy. Plus, he has a very charismatic personality, brought to life by a really solid performance by Benedict Cumberbatch, with this easily being his best non-Marvel performance in the last few years. The film also has a pretty solid supporting cast, though I'd say easily the other biggest standout is Brosnahan as Penkovsky, who does his best to make things as easy as possible for Wynne, while also under an immense amount of pressure himself not to get caught, as the consequences for him would be much worse than for Wynne. Jessie Buckley is also pretty good here as Wynne's wife, though to be honest, it is a somewhat thankless role. They try to give her a compelling arc, but it falls into this trope of the spouse who's unaware of what's really going on, and in turn it puts a big strain on their marriage. She's not necessarily poorly characterized, as she is suspicious of what's going on and is trying to put some pieces of the puzzle together, but she only gets so much to do. But beyond them, anyone else we see who aren't these three aren't the most intriguing. Angus, Wright, and Rachel Brosnahan also have pretty substantial roles as the MI6 director and CIA director respectively, who brief Wynne on the mission, but their entire time is spent to just give us exposition. Nothing too interesting to them beyond that, and otherwise everyone else is pretty forgettable. And as I said, the heavy focus on exposition, as well as giving us characters whose whole purpose is exposition, does come with the territory of the spy thriller. So for those who deeply love this genre, this won't be an issue at all, as this is pretty standard. As for me, I still thought this was a really good time overall. It's a stylish, well-crafted little thriller that can be entertaining, but also hits its high notes emotionally when it needed to. It's mostly paced well, it has an intriguing story, and features a really great performance by Benedict Cumberbatch. So all in all, it's worth a watch. The Courier gets a 7.5 out of 10. So let me know, did you see The Courier, or are you planning to see it, and what were your thoughts? Do you have a favorite spy thriller? Do you have a favorite Benedict Cumberbatch movie? Let me know in the comments below so we can discuss. Also, if you enjoyed this video, please like it and share it, and for more movie reviews and film discussion, please make sure to hit that subscribe button to stay updated. Thanks for watching everyone, and keep having fun with film.